Alright, so I took and flushed this cooling system out a few more times really well, and it just had oil on the top. The bottom was all antifreeze. I think that was just from the heater core. Refilled it, we'll see how it is, but it was not all sludgy like it was before. Just what was in the over tank was sludgy, which that's the highest point that all the oil rises to. So we'll see if this head fixed it for sure or not. If not, it's the engine block and the whole engine will have to get replaced, but I'm hoping not. It has a newer master cylinder on it. It has enough brake fluid in it for now. Yeah. But I did pull the back wheels off, and the wheel cylinder on this side is leaking. It has the drum brakes. It's not four-wheel disc. The drum brakes are pretty worn too. It needs new ones, but they're not like super terrible, but it needs new ones. I can get the brake drums for $5 a piece, the brake shoes for $5, the hardware kit's $4. I don't know how much a wheel cylinder is, but we're gonna do that later. That's the reason for the spongy brake pedal, is that's letting a little bit of air back in. But when I took the other side apart and blew it out, it was all just brake dust. This brake dust was wet and stuck to the inside of everything. So I cleaned it all off with some brake clean. And we'll just have to let that go for now. But the front brakes are all good. And she flushed out a couple of times, got some more coolant in her. I think she's set to drive around a little more and see if the engine's gonna live, see what's going on with it, and I'll order those other brake parts from Rock Auto and we'll get that done. But so for now, she runs. So it's an extra car for my son to have. All right, our planet Saturn. We got a new planet Saturn. These cars, it just looks like a pretty easy one to do, really. I mean, it's gonna be a little tight for that timing chain, but once you pull all this crap out of here, there'll be plenty of room to get to that. Intake does not look too hard to get off. You know, you just have to get all this stuff loose, get down here, get these bolts. Exhaust manifold, there's just tons of room back here to get to that and get that off. I mean, you can pull the exhaust pipe off. You don't even have to get under the car. But yeah. So this one lost a timing chain sitting at idle. She had just pulled in and parked, and it was idling, and it quit. And you can tell by the cadence of the engine when you try to start it, it's got no compression. It's a timing chain. So what I'm going to do is pull the head off first. And I won't pull that timing cover at first. I'll just clip that chain, because I know I need all new timing chain components. So I'm just trying to figure out what all I need to order. But I want to get the head off and pressure test it and see if it has any leaky valves. I'm sure it does. We'll order the valves that we need. Then we'll flatten the head. Now this head is wider. It has timing chains from here to here, and that cavity goes. So I'm going to have to go get a bigger piece of tile and do my sandpaper trick on the tile to get it flat. I'll just have to get a bigger one and some more sandpaper. That's not a problem. And we'll get her flattened out. We'll get the valves in there. We'll relap them. We'll see if she looks like she needs valve stem seals. We'll do those while we're in there. So, but these have 2 cams and they're hydraulic lift. Not an impossible job, really. It's just time consuming, right? So if you pay a shop to do this, they're going to charge you all kinds of hours. But if you just got some Harbor Freight tools and you're working at home, this is a job that you can do. I mean, it's not that hard, a timing chain. Now, the idea is to replace your timing chains before they smash the pistons into the valves. But Not everybody can. I think this had like 268,000 miles on it or something. But it doesn't look that bad. It's not that rusty. The body on it looks really good and clean. It has a little clear coat damage on the hood, but that could be buffed out and fixed. And it's actually a really nice looking car. Headlights could easily buff in. But yeah, this car has some hope and some life left in it. We could just get a whole new engine and change the whole engine too, but what fun would that be? So I'm going to pull the head. I'm going to see if a piston cracked. Sometimes these slam the valves through the piston, but not usually sitting at an idle. That's usually when you got your foot to the floor getting on the interstate and they let go. So we'll see if there's any damage to the pistons, if the valves are bent, and we'll get the necessary parts ordered. If there's a cracked piston, I'm not doing the bottom end. It'll have to be a new engine at that point. We'll have to look around for one, but I doubt that it does. Especially turning over, it doesn't sound like anything's loose or rattling in there. It just has no compression. And it is low on oil. And she put a quart in it. So that might be a part of the reason the timing chain failed, is that lost oil pressure and lost pressure in that tensioner. But also these just crack the guides, and after a while, and you end up with a blown timing chain. It's got the ValueCraft battery from the AutoZone or the Advance, one of the two. Save a lot of money on battery. They're probably charged like almost $200 for that thing. You get it for like $59 at Rural King. It's got some fancy stuff here for the brake booster. That's yeah. I guess that works. Must have had a broken line and they kind of patched it together with what they could find. All right. I just thought I'd introduce you to my next project. I'm going to video this one from start to finish. I'm just getting there in and getting the garage organized. Tow truck dropped her off this direction, so that's why I'm working on it like this. And I got my tool cart moved up here, and I'm ready to get to it. All right. Well, welcome to the next project. We'll see if we can make her run again. This is Tom, your Frugal Prepper.